What is going on, everybody? It's your favorite everything, JR Wisdom. And this is a special show we got going on today. Listen, before I introduce him, I'm gonna give you a little background. This man has been incredible, very instrumental in my YouTube career. He's my mentor. He's been a mentor to a lot of the brothers, a lot of the ladies out there in YouTube land, a lot of your favorite creators. He has discovered, helped out along the way, and he's doing great things currently in the great country of Uganda. And here we are. Without further ado, guys, it's the Duke, the great Oshay Duke Jackson. How you doing, brother?
What's going on, man?
Hey, man, I appreciate you.
Been
having
many
me
years
here.
coming, but
Yeah. You know, I've known you've been following you since 2016 or whatever, and I think you were in your infancy, kind of. I think back then you had like 13,000 subscribers at the time,
right?
And the reason why I really wanted to do this, and I know I told a lot of my subscribers that, you know, we've done a few lives in the past, but many people who maybe have just started following you don't know your history.
Right.
They just know this Oshay celebrity junk that talks about these things. They don't know about the provocative Oshay, the deep into, even though you have the Uganda thing going on, the deep into Pan-Africanism, you know, things going on within the diaspora, issues, and a lot of issues that basically started a lot of beef and a lot of controversy with you early on. That I think people need to know about for sure. So with that being said, let's start at the beginning, man. Where are you originally from?
I was born in Linwood, California. I lived like 30% of my life in LA County.
Right.
The majority of my life is in Sacramento. So I've been going back and forth between those two, but most notably Sacramento, California.
Right. So for those who don't know, Linwood is right outside Compton.
Yeah, Linwood is right next to Compton.
Right next to Compton. Yeah, I've been there once. That's why when you said that, you know, I thought about it. And there's actually a Linwood in Barstow where I used to live at.
Okay.
So that's dope when you said that. So Sacramento. So what was it like growing up for you in Sac Town, as they know, or the Sac?
You know, those times are a little challenging. You know, because my dad, you know, he was on drugs. So we moved back because my dad was getting into too much shit in LA. So we came there as my parents divorced. You know, family trying to get back on their feet. We had a real strong, my grandmother and grandfather, my grandfather passed, but so it was hard. It was trying to, you know, getting to know yourself and trying to grow up. Your dad not there, because of, you know, his own issues, and your mom ain't the best person in the world all the time either, you know. So you know, so she's the best person in the world, but I mean, like in the relationship, all that kind of stuff, right? So it was challenging, but you know, eventually it took me like maybe till I was like in my late 20s to get myself together. Yeah. So
what age was it when you moved back to Sac from LA?
It was 1989.
So how old
I was 8 years old.
You was 8 years old. So you was already in school at this point.
Yeah.
And things like that. So growing up, like what kind of kid were you in school all the way up through high school? Were you like you a ladies man? Were you a jock? Were you into sports?
I was kind of like a class clown.
Stop it. Get some help.
Okay. I mean, I wasn't a ladies man or anything like that. You know, smart kid that underachieved, you know.
Oh, okay.
So I was in like a gifted and talented education. They call it GATE program back in the day.
With it,
So I was a smart kid, but I didn't really apply myself because, you know, once my dad was out the picture, he was the one that made me apply myself. He's a smart guy. I went to UCLA.
Right.
My mom went to UC Davis. So those
your
are
dad's a nurse, right?
Yeah, my dad's a nurse. Yeah. So my dad actually graduated from UCLA.
Dope.
But outside of you know, in fact, so he was a very talented guy academically, but, you know, just got that crack cocaine, man. It was, I mean, I seen it tear family. She tore my family up. So, you know, my mom, you know, she wasn't, you know, by the time I got 14, 15, she couldn't really do nothing with me. You know what I mean? So at that time I was, not like I was a bad kid or anything like that, but, you know, I just didn't really feel like, you know, applying myself as much as I should have and things like that. So of course, you know, I didn't do what I was supposed to do. You know, I think my life would have been a lot different had my dad had been there, because he would have been able to put up with my shit, you know, and smack me in the face and shit like that. I would have been all right, you know, but that was a thing that kind of, you know, messed me up.
So were you like because I hear you, I'm assuming you alluding to this, were you kind of like a troublemaker, or you just was like indifferent in terms of school?
I was not really a troublemaker. I did get into some trouble here and there, but I wouldn't call myself a troublemaker. I was never in the streets or nothing like that.
Got it.
I always been a smart cornball kid.
Yeah.
you know, if somebody would mess with me, I could deal with you if I need to. You know what I mean? That kind of person.
So with that being said, for those of you who don't know, and we will get into this story with Oshay. Oshay is the GOAT in terms of roasting. You know, obviously we know Tariq Nasheed, if y'all know about him, he's roasting, but Oshay is one of the GOATs. Yeah. How did you cultivate this or refine these roasting skills? At what point was this?
The best roaster, Tariq Nasheed is great.
Yeah.
The best was Sinful to P. He passed.
Yeah.
So I'm like somewhere top 4 in YouTube history. But those two are great, man. Tariq is an awesome roaster. But man, you know, people just used to talk about you all the time, man. Yeah. Short, black, skinny, ugly. You know, they was getting on you, but you had to say something back. Yeah. So, you know, I was, you know, I used to have to fire back. So that's all that was, just joking and stuff like that, you know, just being witty and everything. Yeah.
And did this come out about in elementary school?
This was like end of elementary, going into like, by the time I was in 11th grade, I was an all-star by then.
Yeah, you was all-star.
Yeah, it was just signing autographs and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to be at Mama Mark's Park roasting, and, you know, I was cooking everybody. Yeah, so it was, so even on, by the time I got to the internet roasting people, it was a wrap. Right. But, you know, of course, my mom watched my stuff now, so, you know, I kind of really my mom put I don't curse no more.
Right.
Yeah, so.
Yo, and I'm sorry for y'all who miss that vintage Oshay that used to do that, you know, the Calypso organs, the straight up roasting, and it was something as a sight to see. I think he probably hid a lot of those videos, or they're private, but Oshay used to go off and things like that. But we gonna get into that as well. So you graduated high school, obviously. What was the move after that?
So after high school, I wasn't really serious about going to college, so not like with the 4-year degree. So I ended up going to junior college.
Right.
So it was some things I needed to get up on. You know, my math wasn't what it needed to be.
Right.
Although I was pretty good at math, but I just needed to apply myself. So I went there and I got an associate's degree from American River College in natural science and mathematics. Mm-hmm. And so from there, I went to eventually ended up graduating from California State University, Sacramento in biology.
Right.
Yeah, and then from there, I went to the UC Berkeley post-bac from 2009 to 2011. Mm-hmm. So I was a little bit of a late, but I was 26 when I graduated.
Right.
So I was a little bit behind. And so then from there, you know, I worked again and then decided to go to medical school route at 2015.
What was, when you initially went to college, what was your intention to pursue? To be a doctor, or what was it?
Well,
or to follow in your father's footsteps, or in terms of nursing?
Well, yeah, my dad is now my aunt was a nurse.
Okay.
My grandmother was a nurse. She passed about 2 years ago. I have a cousin that is an OBGYN. She went to UC San Diego Medical School. So on my dad's side. So I saw these healthcare professionals.
Right.
So I only wanted to be a general practitioner. I didn't want to do anything outside of primary care.
Right.
So I didn't want to really specialize something like that. And I wanted to be either that or a retail pharmacist.
Got you.
The other option I had on the table, which I think I would have probably liked a lot more, was tax attorney. So those are my 3 career options I had. So I looked at what my personality was. And, you know, I always kind of flirted with the entrepreneurship thing.
Yeah.
So I picked the medical thing route, which if I could do it all over again, I wouldn't have went to medical school now.
Yeah.
I probably would have went with the other choices. But that's how I decided to do that. I felt that would be pretty good. It would be stable. I could support my mom and stuff like that. So, you know, that's the reason why I picked that.
So you said this was 2015?
Yeah.
And you were how old at this time?
I was 34.
34.
I was living with my mom when I was 34.
And that's something I wanted to talk about, because I know a lot of you may, and this is why this is interview, or this, you know, me talking to you about this is important, because I think many men would be reluctant to say some of the things that you've said.
Yeah.
And I know you covered this on like videos in the past about you staying with your mom till your 30s to get your stuff together. Or whatever. Was it, when you were going through it, did you feel any type of way? Or was it just like,
sometimes.
Sometimes.
I had a friend that was doing really well.
Yeah. Extremely
well.
Right.
So this was right before the 2008 dot bubble. I mean, the real estate bubble that happened.
Right.
2008, 2009, the market crash was. He had like 2 houses. He was going to, you know, Las Vegas, hanging out with Larry Johnson. You know, he used to be on the Knicks.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, he used to call me and say, man, you know, you living with your mom, bro. Like, you can't bring a girl over to your house.
Right.
And he was doing fairly well, like very well. And of course, you know, I had a girlfriend at the time, and she wanted me to move in with her But I really didn't pay people too much mind.
Right.
Because I kind of knew where I wanted my life to go. And I knew that deferring the gratification, if I just continue to, invest in myself, that I was going to get a big return in the end. And it didn't end up being in the healthcare field, although I could always go back and do that.
Absolutely.
But it ended up being something else. Because by the time I was able to go to Poland, I was already ready to be, like, I had all the skills I needed. Even if they were soft skills, but I can get myself in the doors just because of, the experience I had. So I would tell guys, don't ever let anybody talk you out of what, because look at Kevin Samuels. He was in his late 50s.
Absolutely.
And so it don't matter when you're a man, you could be 48 and broke, but when you're 50 and got money, it don't matter you was broke when you was 48.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so I think a lot of guys, should focus on what they need to do and all those opportunities, if it's about dating or if it's about owning a house or, I don't look at things like I need to have this by this year. Like I need to be 30 with this.
Yes.
Or 40 with this. I look at, am I on a better progression than I was last year?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just keep going onto that path. So,
and I think that's something that in the Black community, what we need to talk about is, that idea of, I wouldn't necessarily say kicking your kids out, but basically as a family unit, like a lot of other, people do, the kids stay in the home to go to school, have careers, so on and so forth. And sometimes they stay there and inherit the house. A lot of times they don't branch out till later on. Right. But we look at that as like, kind of like, you're a loser or you're staying with your parents or when, wealth building or making your life easier by having some sort of assistance and be able to help your family out at the same time. I know I was against that for the longest time. I couldn't wait to get out of the house. I left home at 17. But as I'm getting older and I have kids and I see the value of how other cultures and other people basically have their families and they're like, you stay in here until you get right. You know what I'm saying? Not like we babysitting you, but stay here until you get right. You know what I mean? So with that being said, how did Poland come about? I know you said you went to pursue medical, but why Poland of all places?
I mean, I did okay at the post-bac program, but I don't think like I need to go to another post-bac program possibly to qualify for an American medical school or osteopathic medical school. So then at the time, my mom was telling me she wanted to retire and things like that. So I didn't want to accrue more debt. So Poland came as an opportunity because most students were, if they want to get into general practice, they would go to the Caribbean, Ross University or something like that, or you can go overseas. So when this program came, I was like, okay, at the time I was dating a girl in London. So, it's like, I can't go over there, let's kill two birds with one time. It's because the UK was still in the European Union at that time. Right. So this opportunity came and then they gave me this license in all the states if I graduated. So I was like, okay, let me check it out. And it was a perfect match for me. It was still a great match. I wouldn't take it back for anything in the world, although I probably wouldn't go back to medical school, but I don't regret it. So I ended up going there, got in, and the rest of my life ever since then has been on a great path. And it was the best investment I ever made in my life was taking that opportunity because we wouldn't be here if I didn't go to Poland because I came to Uganda and that was another opportunity waiting on me and I just didn't know. So I'm thankful that it life is crazy like that.
Life is crazy. Yeah. Life is crazy. I tell people that all the time. You never know where you're going to end up at any given time. So you're in Poland, you're going to medical school. How does YouTube come about? Or basically what's your social media entrance?
Yeah, so I used to do some Facebook groups back in the day just for fun, you know.
Right.
Planet Oshay. Some of y'all remember those?
Facts.
Those Planet Oshay groups. I don't know if you ever seen them before. But
I've seen them. Yeah,
it was,
not until I found you on YouTube though.
It was crazy. So so like I just came on the YouTube and first thing, like I wasn't on YouTube really being serious, but then I got pretty big. There was this one YouTuber called Filoshko versus the World. He's in Russia. So we got into like a little beef. So it got me to like 1,000 subscribers. So
right.
Then after that, the market for the black male content space was small at that time. So I just started putting up videos and what's the brother's name? I want to call Rollo. Shout out to Rollo from New York City. Wake the Hell Up was
Wake the Hell Up, yeah. Yeah, I remember. I ain't heard that name in a while. Yeah, Wake the Hell Up. Yeah.
He changed his name now, but he's like, bro, put your accents on. So I put my accents on. I was like, oh shit, I'm making like $60 in a day.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, that's an opportunity. So it got me wanting to learn how to YouTube work and things like that. And I noticed it was a gap. So it didn't allow me to also work with other creators.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that we have like a big gap in the black male space, the black content space in general. So I found a passion for it. You know, it allowed me to be my personality. It allowed me to do the things I wanted to do in the industry. And I mean like the healthcare industry.
Right.
So I wanted to be a GP. I wanted to be a retail pharmacist. I felt like I would be able to use my personality to find out what's going on with the patient, giving family histories. Mm-hmm. I really love that in clinicals and stuff like that. So YouTube allowed me to do the same thing. It allowed me to be able to work with the black world, which is what I always wanted to do, and you know, and build a team and things like that. So that's how YouTube came about, and I just kept growing with the business and taking it serious as I was growing in the in the space.
So how does that come into the creation of the Black Manosphere?
So the Black Manosphere, there was like before I went to Poland, I was listening to Obsidian.
Shout out to Obsidian
Media Network, Umiyali. And I used to walk. And the thing about at that time, because these are guys that didn't grow up in the West Coast.
Right.
You talk about the guys like the Angry Man, he's from like the Carolinas or somewhere over there. And Umiyali, they grew up in Philly. Philly is a different culture than Sacramento or the West Coast.
Absolutely.
But these guys were saying the same exact thing. Mm-hmm. And the way that, Obsidian Ali was coming out, he was the voice of the everyday brother back then.
Yes.
So he wasn't talking for the black men that might have been, bachelors or, I always wanted to be a guy that had, the MD behind my name, something like that. He's talking for the everyday black man. And then I came to realize that these guys have the same issues that the guys that have MDs and JDs have and corporate CEOs have in Black America. And that's when it links like, damn, like these guys are expressing views in ways that I've thought about but couldn't articulate it.
Right.
So Obsidian is the brainchild, I think, of the Black Manosphere. Okay. Angry Man is the person that gave it the name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to those gentlemen.
Yeah.
And that's how the Black
I would call them Peter, but I'm Paul.
Okay.
Peter started the church.
Right.
But I spread the gospel.
There you go.
Yeah, that was me. Yeah. I went out and got Timothy, all these other people. That's me.
I feel you. So the Black Manosphere obviously had a big impact, and I think people who are on YouTube and around, your name is synonymous with the Black Manosphere.
Yes.
I know it's been very controversial in terms of people saying Oshay is the king of the Black Manosphere. And,
yes.
People have an issue with that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I've been watching your content for a while, and I know there's some people who may be watching this who haven't and who have.
Mm-hmm.
You had some very provocative content. I know you were going at like some of our leaders, for quote unquote, not going at, but you were saying very controversial things about them. And I think people were even like calling you like an Uncle Tom or stuff. And it was like, so was there a method behind that, or what was that about? Because you shifted your content eventually. What was your thought process during that time?
The reason is not that I don't feel different,
right? But
I don't also want to take away from what those people did,
right?
Because they did do some great things.
Absolutely.
Maybe I didn't articulate that there, but I think one of them for Marcus Garvey.
Absolutely, I remember that one.
That was one of the big ones.
You went hard on that one.
So, but now one of the things is that the leaders now, after understanding what they did, I never go at ancestors anymore.
Right.
So I don't care if because nobody's perfect, they make mistakes. Mm-hmm. But the reality is that the black world in general are victims. So that's the mentality that we have.
Yes.
And this is the reason why we don't have anything. It's one of the reasons why Africa don't have anything. It's because we are victims, like constitutive. It's always that. And it's always the white man's fault, or if it ain't the white man's fault, it's the black woman's fault, or it's the black man's fault. So I noticed that trend all the time. It kept repeating and you know, shout out to David Carroll.
Yeah,
I used to listen to, yeah, man, the Negro's unaccountable.
Right.
So I think the method of madness is like, you know, as a group of men, you know, a lot of black men complain about black women all day or vice versa. It's like, well, we can do something about that.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't we do something about that? And so that was the method to that madness that, you know, a lot of black men, and even with the white manosphere, because the white manosphere was, I mean, they had 21 convention, shout out to them.
Yeah.
They had, what was Roos's blog called? The Return of Kings.
Return of Kings, yeah.
And by the time 2020 came, the black creators were just as big as they were.
Yes.
But it was just that, you know, we had the opportunity to do that. So I guess that was the method then. Obviously, it was some immaturity and not, you know, being a man like I am today. But yeah, but that was the main thing I was trying to get across. And I wouldn't say those things, certain things that you feel you don't need to say.
Absolutely.
Yeah, in YouTube you learn that you can't say everything that you feel. So this is why I don't do that no more. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. So, because I know we were all, like, some people were wondering, you know, what happened and things like that if you trace Oshay's history.
Mm-hmm.
So we get that. That's how you felt in terms of these things. So do you feel like, because you're like a beef magnet on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
why do you feel like that is? Why do you feel like at a certain point, and it's not as much as it used to be?
No.
Why do you think that was, that you were always in some beef back then?
I mean, number one, you know, having a controversial position
Mm-hmm.
is going to get people reacting to you in an emotional way. That's just what it is.
Right.
So I always try to put out, even back then, you know, I'll roast people, but for the most part, my pre-recorded videos, I would always put out what my position was.
Yes.
And not necessarily, you know, roasting this person on the pre-record or something like that. But obviously, you know, some people didn't like that. And I would respond in kind or not handle things with maturity myself. I mean, I'm petty, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But also, you know, I noticed that once I started getting a little popular, and obviously I had some beefs like with, you know, Obsidian. That was a pretty long-standing one. That wasn't that bad. But Angry Man was, you know, it just kind of died down. But, you know what I mean? Like, you know, it's kind of obvious. Then there was, I know, Donovan Sharp, right? I know you're going to probably kind of get into that. But I think that what happened was for some of that, not all of it, I would say for certain other people, I won't say that for Obsidian or even Angry Man as much, or Donovan. But, you know, I was growing in the space.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's not that I was growing and getting subscribers. I was growing in the content creator community.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give you an example. There's only one content creator that Kevin Samuels has ever made a video about. And that person was me.
Correct.
So, and Kevin made a whole video about me.
The genius of Oshay Duke Jackson.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and then and to be right before you hit the pinnacle, and then on his live streams for him to show me that sort of love, that brought a lot of hate. Now, before it was just, you know, beefing with Tommy here and there, roasting. That wasn't really serious.
Right.
But after I stopped that, it was still there.
Yeah.
You know, and just moving up in the business and moving up in things I'm doing. A lot of Negroes don't like that, right? So, you know, people start making up even insidious things about you.
Yes.
You know, like you're molesting whoever.
Right.
Teddy bears. Don't matter. So, but I noticed that, you know, anybody who's doing well, even mediocre tourism reviews, the guy doesn't bother anybody.
Yeah.
Guy has hate videos on YouTube. Lead attorney. That's just what Negroes do when you start being good. So, but both of those things are conflated or combined. Being a good YouTuber, having a respect of it, because this is having a YouTube channel, have a lot of subscribers. But I'm real big in the content creator community. Like, it ain't too many people, like you said, you pulled up here. Right. A lot of content creators will come and visit me in Africa. So it ain't a lot of people that people will do that for if they don't fuck with you. Right. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So some people don't like that. And you see my other projects, like the Pan-African Dating Show, King Uganda. These are projects, and I'm just gonna say it. Nobody else has done anything. The variety of things that I've done have never been done.
Talk heavy.
It's not been done.
Yeah.
So people don't like that.
Right.
Yeah, but most notably, me being immature about some of the things and making the beef out of something that shouldn't have been a beef. Right. So I have to take accountability for that. Everybody ain't just hating on you because you're talented. Yeah. Sometimes people hating on you because you're stupid. And I done said some stupid shit that shouldn't have been said. It's the truth. So that's why I don't get into problems anymore.
Right.
But even if somebody treats you wrong as a content creator, you ain't got to go all air it out.
Absolutely.
And I used to do that sometimes. Yeah, I would take things public that don't need to be public, but you live and you learn.
So you just mentioned some things, the Pan-African dating show, King Ganda.
Yeah.
You're in Poland. Obviously, you're talking about the diaspora, Black issues, African issues, if you will, within the diaspora. What about that? How did that passion come about to do that?
I always have been passionate about Black people. Right. And I wouldn't even consider myself a Pan-African until maybe like 20. I would consider myself a person with Pan-African leanings. I used to have a lot of negative things about Africa, like videos out there.
Yeah.
But I always like to work with the brothers from the continent. I like to work with the brothers from the Caribbean and the brothers in our communities. It's a passion of mine. So I've always had those strong pro-Black leanings because my father was very, my mom grew up in the 60s. So during the Jim Crow era,
right.
as well as my dad. And they were a part of that great migration, at least the second part of it coming from the South to the West Coast. So they experienced these things. So they knew that, hey, there's certain things going to happen to you because you're Black. And you need to be good because you're Black. And if you get pulled over, put your hands on the steering wheel because you're Black. So that animosity, I used to be like, man, if I gotta do all that, what's the point of me building my career and building my focus amongst white people, if that's the case? Like, I'm never going to be what I'm supposed to be around them.
Right.
So if I can get an opportunity to be who I am in the Black world, I'm going to go that route.
Right.
And that's what I did. So, and it's been the best choice I ever made. Now, do you deal with Negro stuff? Yes. But that passion is just something that just burns in me.
Gotcha. Yeah. So how does Uganda come about? You're in Poland, everything, you're in school. Yeah. Where does Uganda come in here?
So, I wanted to do the one Negro thing to say I went to Africa one time, right. And that was it, right? So I just wanted to do that. And I was on a nomad site. Actually, it was a site in, I was trying to get to Nigeria, in Ghana, but I couldn't get a visa or I didn't know how to do it.
Right.
Because I had residence, but I think I needed to go like all the way to Warsaw to Nigerian embassy, process a visa there, then come all the way back. So Uganda was free visa on arrival. And so was South Africa. So I heard a lot about Idi Amin. And so Idi Amin was like, like when I saw the video, I said, man, this guy's crazy. He's funny.
Right, yeah.
So his persona, even though he's been dead for many years, drew me here. Then, I Googled like, what do Ugandan women look like? What's the weather like? And so I read some good reviews. So, okay, well, shoot, let me go check it out, right? Yeah. So came out here. Then, I was in the mosquito, I was lagging. The mosquitoes was tearing my ass up. It's like, man, I'm good off Africa. But like around the third or fourth day, I didn't know anybody.
Right.
So third or fourth day, I started picking up, met some people. By the time the week came, I had met 2 people. So I came back February 2018. After that trip, I'm like,
this is it.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm staying here. So.
And with this journey, going back and forth, you're on YouTube, you're doing well, you're growing at this rate, you're in medical school. Are you at a crossroads on what you want to do, or what?
Yes.
How did that come about?
Yeah, because obviously I was getting ready to graduate. Some of my friends are already in residency.
Right.
So, and then people look at like, YouTube's not a real career and all that. So I really looked at, if I was a single man, I probably would chase myself going into the system to be, I was even going to maybe go to the UK and work for NHS or stay in Europe. I had a lot of different opportunities from healthcare. But I thought about the Black world and where I was at and the opportunities I could just write my ticket. And then, my mom was getting old. So I was like, my mom wants to retire right now. I need to be like doing something right now. So but then I just have fun with what I'm doing. I love what I do.
Yeah.
I liked medicine, but I love what I do. I mean, use with me today, at the 2 Bio market, I will shout out to them. You see, I'm like finagling the deals I'm making, the meetings I'm making, I'm on the run all the time. I'm working all night. We had our steps to like 5, 7 of them, like 4 in the morning. We had dating show today. Then boom, over there to the new office. The office is getting painted.
Facts.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So then we come back and shoot this. Then I got to meet Wood and Maya. We was with Wood and Maya last night for his birthday. So
shout out to Wood and Maya.
Yeah, so like he waiting on me at the place right now. So, I got more impact. I can own what I do. And being a doctor won't necessarily let you own what you do. It can, but it's not like this. So I'd rather be able to own what I do. I like to have ownership of what I do. And I have an awesome team here. So yeah, it took a long time so I got I also got a lot of confidence in my ability over that last time. So when I got to medical school, my confidence in my ability was low. But graduating medical school, and medical school is not easy.
Nah.
So my ability, my confidence in what I can do for myself is high. So I feel like there's nothing that I can't achieve now.
Absolutely.
So if I bet on myself, I know I'm not going to let myself down. Like, I know it's not going to happen at all. So I just have that ability, like, you can throw me anywhere in the world. As long as they speak English, I got a shot.
Right.
Yeah, I can make something happen. I can always make something happen. Yeah.
I like what you said just now about betting on yourself. And I think that's what people need to cultivate within themselves in terms of, building that confidence or finding that some way.
Yeah.
Because when you do trust in other people, sometimes, they tend to let you down.
Right.
If you work on yourself, you got to come to your own rescue. And definitely, I'm a firm believer in that. So you made the trip. You finished medical school.
Right.
Graduated.
Right.
You're in Uganda, full-time content creator. You have a staff. You have a business going. You're responsible for a bunch of people. I saw it today. I told Oshay today, man, this is he got a full-blown production company moving around all types of stuff. Like, this is a Hollywood studio out here. How do you manage that along with your personal life and your sanity overall with all these moving parts? Because I hate to be long-winded, but I've seen this and I've seen you got a lot going on with people, dealing, it's a part of your life to function. How do you juggle all that?
It's just one day at a time, or you kind of get used to it. I mean, at first it's a lot, but you get used to it. You're going to be up. You have to be up, but you have to get the work done. People depended on you. You need to do it. So, but I like what I do, so it's okay. It'd be different if I hated it.
Right.
And I do hate certain aspects of it.
Yeah.
But, we got a really great team. We got a lot of help. And nothing in life you can do by yourself. So I just it's become normal to me. So I can accept it. Even we had 2 flights that came pick you up at the airport at like 5 in the morning. It was raining.
Absolutely.
Then the day before that, we picked up Wood and Maya and 4 people. 3 people. Then we picked up Kuhani the same day. So it's just crazy. But when you are a person that makes things happen, people expect you to perform at all times. Nobody wants to hear that you can't perform when you have shown that you can.
Absolutely.
So when they know you can, they believe that you can do anything. So I got to keep that up. And if I can't do it, I got to do something until I can do it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Now I got a question for you in this, and I think that this is something that has bothered me personally. So I'm going to ask you this. Do you feel like, as being like an elder or OG in this YouTube space, do you think that you're underrated, and or do you feel like you're getting the flowers that you deserve?
That's a good question. People don't, I'm not as like Wood and Maya, right? I've been working with Wood for a long time. Wood and Maya and Kevin Samuels, I've pulled some strings. Not more so with Kevin and Wood and Maya, right? But Wood and Maya and Kevin is like 2 people that I know are we're like superstars.
Yes. And
everywhere you see them, somebody know them.
Absolutely.
And you be there with Wood and Maya and nobody know me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And same thing with Kevin. But you know what though? I think my position wasn't to be the most known content creator.
Right.
It wasn't to be like, Mr. You're the celebrity star. You need to get credit. I think that a lot of the brothers have given me more than enough credit. And, for a lot of the brothers that I've tried to help over the years and build a community for, I'm doing that here in Africa too. It's the very same way I did with the Manosphere. I just like to see that the brothers are progressing. And because, I look at it as the people that came before me. Mm-hmm. People who came before me didn't even get no credit.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't. There's a lot of stepfathers out there that took other people's kids and raised them up and didn't get no credit. Mm. So I look at the people who came before us and in our community and did a lot of stuff and they didn't get credit. We don't even know who they are, but we live a better life because of them, right? So our generation being so weak and so always so, like even when Kevin blew up, I never got mad he blew up.
Right.
I was just as fervent as supportive of his as before. Did I follow what Kevin saying was here and there, cuss his ass out? Of course, behind the scenes. Right. But nobody knew that until I told you. But it wasn't that big of a deal. Kevin had some little issues here and there, but he's still my brother, right? Mm-hmm. Ward am I the same way? I mean, Ward am I fell out behind the scenes. We talked about last night at his birthday, right? But he's still my brother. I love him. But I'm always going to support the brothers that I know are doing the right thing. And the thing for me, as long as the community gets ahead, and brothers have an opportunity to do something, I'm okay with that. Go ahead and I don't know how many guys in Black YouTube or, like you see my staff, we have people that, was not even doing very well. Mm. And then we started working together and now everybody doing well. Like I didn't create the celebrity junk. So Tati created the celebrity junk. He don't go around talking about, man, you don't give me enough credit. Right. Yeah, he just did it because he did it. And I think like for most of us as Black men, some of these brothers are going to be able to be more talented than you. And I won't say like, I don't feel like I'm a talented YouTuber, but Kevin was able to do things I can't do. Kevin could deliver and articulate something to a group of women that either I'm not interested in doing, or I don't have that ability. Kevin just had, he's just a combination of fly. Women thought he looked good. He was cerebral. He was patient and he was poised and he just was on point. And he had a extreme, just like almost unimaginable work ethic. Yeah. Just insatiable, if you could say that. Yeah. Yeah. And so I was glad that he was able to do what he did. I gave him his first interview. Yeah. And the same thing with some of the guys that you saw today. Mm-hmm. Some of the best videographers in East Africa are here. Mm. And I mean, I've worked with guys all the way from content creators, from production to administration people, all of which are dynamite. I'm not saying because it was me, but just the resources that helped build that and see the talent. Mm. And for me, sometimes you got to be the person to see that person got talent. That person can hit the home run. And I've been able to do that over and over and over again. Like the lead attorney, pocket watching with JT. Remember when the lead attorney only had 1,000, pocket watching had 600. I watched, I said, bro, that guy is good. I need to interview that guy. Look where they're at now. Yeah. So even with you. So the thing is like, sometimes you need to be the brother that just, be happy for another brother. Because always come back.
Absolutely.
I got more subscribers because I helped Kevin. Yeah. He never owed me no money. Now I had Kevin, I won't tell nobody who it was. Kevin jammed somebody up for me. He's like, you know what, man? This nigga need to pay you, bro. Yeah. I have to call the nigga right now. Like 30 minutes later, somebody sent me like $3,000 on Cash App. This is like a month before he died. I don't see who it was. Facts. Shout out to the brother though.
Yeah,
but
shout out to that brother.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but I was about to think to myself, but Kevin, man, you need to send me some money too, player. I mean, if he got it, but but I like to see Black men be successful, brother. Like even when people come here, I always talk to them. Like I'm not one of those YouTubers that I see. What's up, man? Yeah. Like I'm glad to see you. You know what I mean? I'm just like that. Sometimes you gotta be. We need some. Everybody can't be the superstar all the time. Mm. We need people that's gonna come in and set the infrastructure up. Because a brother might want to come in like SPK. But give a shout out to that brother.
Shout out.
He was a good YouTuber. Didn't like YouTube, but man, he's an excellent producer. He's an excellent editor. Dima. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And but people like that they want to come in and just do what they got to do, right? And that's why I have such a good team. So I don't take no, people give my flowers or whatever, but the people who know me in the content creator community, the people who matter, they know what goes on. Everybody behind the scenes, I'm bigger in amongst content creators than I am with subscribers. That's all over the black. That's even in Africa. Right. Yeah. So. And that's what I'm good at. So I stick with what I'm good at. Everybody don't want to, even Kevin, I know me along with it. Kevin almost had me ready to move to Atlanta. Take all my shit there. Because Kevin was like, look, I need you to do all this work, okay? Because I need to be a celebrity and be rich.
Yeah.
But you need to be organized on all this stuff.
Right.
All right. I don't want to. And the Pan-African dating show was because of Kevin.
Mm.
So Kevin was instrumental in me starting that. But Kevin passed away, unfortunately. But that's my skill. I'm the one that comes in and set the system up, hire the people, pay the people. You know, some brothers don't want to pay. They don't want to be the ones doing all that, right? You know, like they talented, but they don't want to deal with the infrastructure stuff. That's what I do. So I don't take no personal jabs at it. I'm glad for the people who do appreciate it and they give it to me. That's fine. That's good. Yeah, I don't take no umbrage with it.
Dope. Understood. I still think you're underrated, in my opinion. I'm just gonna give my opinion to y'all watching right now. Oshay Duke Jackson should be well over 1 million at this point. That's just my opinion. Anyway, closing out, Duke, what you got coming up on the horizon that people, you know, you like? I would like to know, and I'm pretty sure people would like to know as well.
Well, so we do have the Pan-African dating show. And of course, you was you had a chance to get on there today, brother. You know, for the Light Skin Nation
already.
And then, but also we have our podcast here, and then also what we're going to be doing is being more involved in bringing the Black diaspora to Africa and trying to set up opportunities that would connect people from America here. I don't care if you find out looking for a husband, you trying to do a startup here. Things that we can do. That's my life's mission now, to get the talented skills from Africa and get Africans and Americans and Caribbeans working together. And I don't care if it's digital economies. I don't care if it's trade, even if it could be in America, doing more because we have a big boycott in the Black world. So coming up with solutions that bring talented Black people together, and then they give opportunities to the youth. That's my main thing that we're trying to do here. So even in this country, I'm working with bringing brothers and sisters. Like I'm so thankful you came. You know, hey, if y'all come to you, I'm not saying I'm gonna show you a good time, but I am a pretty good host. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So we want to bring our brothers and sisters together, and you know, have the opportunity, because obviously with the way things are, if you don't have ownership, you can't take care of your women, and you can't work with your men, right? So your men have to be part owners, or to be able to build your market for your community and take the opportunity that we have in the Black world.
Right.
So that's what I want to do before I, like I say, kick the bucket. You know what I mean? And to be able to add more value, I want to get into some struggle movies.
Right.
You know what I mean? I want to build like a studio here, things like that. But in America too, I just want to get more Blacks to come together and stop blaming the white man. And so let's start doing these things for ourselves. Let's start giving a good product to our brothers and sisters that they can be proud of, and stop saying Black business don't support. So once we do that, because the money, we already have it. The money's there in the Black world. You know, so that's what I want to do. We unite the Black world together as much as possible. And our dating show is a good way they can do that. Our podcast is a good way we're trying to do that. We're going to start having some speed dating events.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, the Hennessy is not going to be free, so don't ask me. So just things like that.
Right.
Just things that, you know, expose the Black world so they get Black people where they can talk. I don't care if it's African Americans. I don't care if it's Ethiopians. Get Black people to Afro-Latinos. Get Black people together that understand that they're Black. And let's start solving our issues with our brightest minds, and start, you know, like I want to see the endowment of HBCU. You know, we've been hearing about Jackson State and Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
They now fired their president now, like yesterday. So now, why is our endowment not somewhat, you know, like I want to see our endowment going up and the corruption at HBCUs going down. And Blacks that want to come in Uganda and settle to have a good pathway, or Ghana have a good pathway. But we have a lot of fighting that we got to do. We've been fighting the white man for a long time. But the biggest fight in the Black world is now with each other. And how do you bring people together? Because we're the ones holding each other back now. And we've always been that. We've been blaming the white man for everything. So the Blacks, I believe that we can say, is one thing David Carroll said, I believe, that Black people can solve 90% of their own problems if they put their mind to it. So that's what I want to do. My goal is to solve our own problems. It's going to be hard because Negroes is hard to work with. But you're not going to have anything if you don't do that.
Absolutely.
So I just really appreciate you coming here. I met some brothers the other day that was twins from, you missed them. They was from LA. So I still meet so many brothers in Africa, man. It's like, hey, man, I came here because of you, or I see brothers in the States. And we just have opportunity, man. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Absolutely.
Africa Free Trade Agreement. We're trying to get our African states to stop building up barriers while you're ratifying the agreement. I won't call no names. I want y'all to shoot me when I get there. But we just want the black world to come together. We got beautiful women.
Yes.
We got smart men.
Indeed.
I can't call y'all beautiful because I ain't on that stuff. But you know what I mean. We got talented brothers, right? In everything. So let's just get our people together to be transparent and create solutions, because the white folks ain't gonna do it for us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if we can do that, that's my goal for the rest of my life. However, we got to get there. As long as it's legal, we're gonna do it. And in fact, I got a meeting very soon with some people to do that after this. So thanks, brother, for coming on. Hopefully we can get you to come back. He's only stayed like 20 minutes in Africa.
I know, right? In and out, man. Yeah. No, I appreciate you having me, man. And that's dope. For those of you, like I said, I just wanted to do this so people get the whole Oshay Duke Jackson story, for those that don't know, instead of, what they see. So we get more in depth, the man behind the madness and these great videos that we see. So once again, I appreciate
one question. Have you had some fun since you only been here for 5 minutes?
It's dope, man. It's dope, man. Oshay is a hell of a host. The people here are wonderful, man. Good food, good people, beautiful women. The opportunity, I'm seeing this man facilitate this entire production that's going on, and we got some stuff going on tomorrow, and I'm going to witness that as well. So even what we're doing right now here live in Uganda, it's dope that how he's doing this, man. This is a black man that came to another country from America and just set up shop and showed that it can be done. You know what I'm saying? So he's definitely someone that can look up to and follow in his footsteps, and to know that it can be done. You know what I mean? So I appreciate you, because most of you guys watching me right now probably wouldn't have known about me if it wasn't for Oshay. And I'm just being honest. So just putting that out there. So once again, brother, I appreciate you.
Yeah.
I'm glad you hosted me here, and this has been a dope interview, man. And
I want you to come back too. I mean, we be on you to come back, because you only stay for 5 minutes. So
man, God willing, I'll be back here in the great, city of Kampala, or wherever you will be at.
Yeah, we gonna be
Kenya or Nairobi next time, So hey, much blessings and abundance, man.
And I want to also thank you to the brothers for supporting me. So so we can do this, and hopefully, I want to still work with the black men, obviously, you know what I mean. And one thing I want to say is, I've been to Manosphere for a while. I know brothers are frustrated, especially with black women in the world. But the one other thing I want to do is to get black men to stop blaming women for every fucking thing.
Thank you.
And black men, I know that some of these women, sisters out here are dusty. Like, you get the Glorillas and the Weavers and the Sandlers in the world. I know that, right?
Damn.
And single moms and whatever. Okay, I get it. But you don't have to deal with them.
I have to deal with them.
Yeah, that's one of the things I've noticed. Like, you just don't, they're not there, at your doors, so you can't do nothing that day.
Absolutely.
Right? America's a great country that if you have freedom association, you can do things. Mm-hmm. Americans don't care if you're doing it all black, long as you're paying taxes.
Absolutely.
They won't, right? So we have an opportunity as black men that we don't do anything like we should. So if we can get black men to see our value in each other, we will start changing things, not only in America, we will start changing things in Africa. Because when we look at some of the most developed places, look at Dubai. Well, how do the men treat each other there? They don't treat each other like we do. Right? They have respect for each other. That's why their country looks like that. But now any community where the men don't respect each other, you will see, go out there and look outside and you see how they live.
Right.
So if we can just say, oh, that brother right there, no, I'm not going to try to take his wife or anything like that. Or that brother right there, let me pay him the money I owe him back. Then we can do something. But now when we lying and Negroes do that and we cheating and we're backbiting and things like that, now we're creating enemies. Now instead of the brother, you can make him $1 million, now he want to shoot you. Because we can't be respectful. And black men need to have respect. So if we can do that, we will start to see our men develop. And once the men develop, things will get better. We will get more investment. We will get better businesses. Because most men put in a lot more hours in some of the things that women typically are not interested in. I'm not saying they can't do it, but they're not interested in it. So when a brother, so if you want to get in the truck, dump truck business, that's going to be mostly brothers doing that. You know, or construction. That's brothers doing that. But if we're going to get deals, I shouldn't have to come and take my kid and look for a job from the white man. When I have all these talented black men out there, I need to be able to come and my kid need to come to your law office and get an intern.
Right.
Yeah. And then you need to be the dean over for law school at Florida A&M or Howard University so my kid can get in. Or at Meharry Medical School so my kid can get in. That's how it should work.
I see what you're saying. I think people know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, but your Negroes are sitting up here talking about the white man all day or talking about the black woman all day and you don't have nothing. So nobody take you serious.
No.
So black men gotta stop complaining about everything. It's okay to be dumped and be played. All right, it's okay. But there's women out there that will respect you if you're respecting yourself.
Thank you.
So the black man gotta rise up. He's too busy complaining about what he don't want and not doing enough to get what he want. And so we need to keep the pressure on these brothers to do something about that. Yeah.
Excellent. So I'm glad you said that because that is something that needs to be pointed out. And I think men, you know, that say things like that are looked at as, well, I know I've said stuff like that, and you looked at as
a simp. I wish
because
one of
you
these
say-
Negroes will call me a simp.
Yeah, for even saying something like that, that's just how far we've gone. But, you know, I'm glad you articulated that perfectly, and hopefully we're able to make it to that point one day, like other groups, you know, other demographics.
Right.
So, you know.
And black men are not stupid. They know what we're talking about is true.
Yeah.
They're not dumb. They know that. So you can deny it if you want, but you know it's true. And you'd be so surprised. Just go look at most of I have videos like that. Most black men agree. Black men are really can be honest with themselves. Yeah, I got accountable, but black men know that if we have more decency towards each other, because even in the business I have right now, I have a great administration task, but the people who bringing in all the stuff are black men, African men. Same thing in the manosphere. The guys who brought me the most cheese were men. So what's our problem with working with our brothers like that? We need to have some decency. So that's it, brothers. I don't keep you too long.
Yeah, no worries. Hey, once again, shout out to Oshay. You know, shout out to Oshay for hosting me. It's been a great talk with you, brother. And, you know, like I said, we'll be doing this, you know, sooner or later, God willing. And with that being said, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed this. You know, it's your favorite everything, JR Wisdom, much blessings and abundance. You got anything else you wanted to add before we get out here, Oshay?
So, subscribe to JR Wisdom, y'all.
Shout out, man. Appreciate you, brother.
Peace, brother. Peace.
Much blessings and abundance.
All right.
Yeah.
50 Cent.
50. Part 2.
Bring it back.
Yeah.
Can't forget Tony.
50.